Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Ria Varsami and I'm a shamanic astrologer. Today I will be sharing with you astrological information about the upcoming full moon that is happening in the energy of Virgo on the 14th of March. And together with this full moon also we have a total lunar eclipse. So you probably already feel this energy working with you, because when we have eclipse is happening, we can even feel this energy a month before the actual event. So this actually full moon initiates officially the eclipse season. So the eclipse season is all month of March. So we have a total lunar eclipse with this full moon, and then we have a solar eclipse with the upcoming new moon on the 29th of March. Eclipse seasons are usually very, very transformational times. It's usually when we go through this death and rebirth process, and also is a time where we can see beyond this physical realm, when we can have access to the spiritual realms, let's say to different parallel dimensions, when our dreams become very, very vivid, when is actually considered the best time to receive guidance from our ancestors, from our spirit guides, from our soul. And eclipse seasons have always been used from our ancestors as portals, as time to celebrate life on earth, as time to do ceremonies for nature, for connecting with ourselves, for invoking certain energies to help us on this journey on earth. So I will talk to you more about this. If you are not a subscriber, I want to say make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can support my work, and again I can continue making these videos for you guys. And also feel free to follow me on social media, on my Instagram and on my Facebook account. It's the Cosmic Guidance all together in both accounts. So yeah, the eclipse season is always a very interesting time, and the lunar eclipse that we're going right now, we have a total lunar eclipse with a full moon, is a lot about shedding the old skin. And the solar eclipse is very, very different energy. It's like more of like an activation, where now is more like, as I said, this death and rebirth cycle. So it can feel very, very intense. So together with this eclipse season, we have also Venus in retrograde. So this is something very important that I want to talk about it. So we ended the Mars retrograde season on the 24th of February. So you guys, from the last video to this video, you probably felt there's a big shift of energy when Mars went direct. And now from the 2nd of March, Venus started its retrograde period, and Venus is going to stay in retrograde until the 13th of April. Venus is one of the inner planets, so it's the closest to the Earth. So when a planet like Venus goes in retrograde, it affects us very, very strongly. And Venus goes in retrograde every 18 months. So it's not something that is happening all the time, like Mercury, for example. So it's something that it's very like marked there from the cosmos. So what is Venus? Venus is representing the goddess, our feminine. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, we both have feminine and masculine side. Venus is a prosperity planet, connects a lot with finances, love relationships, our value, our worth. And as I said, connects a lot with the goddess. So arts, beauty, pleasure, enjoyment of life, all of this is Venus. So when it goes retrograde, it wants us to reflect in all these themes. It's like, and of course, depending where it's going to be, these degrees that Venus go retrograde on your chart is going to be very different for each of you. But in general, talking about all of us, more like collective, is going to be a lot reflecting about our prosperity, our abundance. And this can be a lot about finances, love relationships, as I said, pleasure, enjoyment of life, all these themes. So every time we have retrograde, is always a time of introspection, a time of reflection. So Venus is pointing out for us, depending, as I said, where these degrees fall in your birth chart, in which house, pointing different energies for each of us. And then also after this full moon, the full moon is happening on the 14th of March. So the 15th of March, Mercury is starting its retrograde. So we're going to have the two closest planets to the Earth, Mercury and Venus, in retrograde together. So it's going to be a lot of this introspection and reflective energy in the whole month of March, and also until the middle of April. And if you guys follow me for a while, I talked about this long period we're working with retrogrades. It's going to be like almost 5 months that started in the beginning of December, And if we include also the Mercury retrograde before in November, it is like a long period now. We're working with this retrograde and reflection. It's almost like 5 months. We're almost there. Until the middle of April is not so much left, so we're almost there. We're getting better. But now when Venus and Mercury is like very strong when we have this together, because they are the closest to the Earth, so affect us a lot. So this full moon is not only special because we have these two retrogrades happening in between, we have the eclipse season, we have a total lunar eclipse, but because also this full moon is conjuncting the south node. So if you remember, I talk about this change of axis of the lunar node that happen every 18 months. So this is the first eclipse we are having, let's say, in this with this new shift of axis. So we have the full moon conjuncting the south node in Virgo. The south node represents karma, represents our collective karma, and represents also past lives, what we have to let go, what we have to release. And the full moon also carries this energy of letting go, of releasing. Is when, as I always give this example, is when we, as a cell, if we see our body as an organism, as a whole, like let's say as a cell itself, opens the membrane to release toxicity. So this particular full moon is a very purifying full moon. Carries so much the energy of purification. Virgo in shamanic astrology is the archetype of the priestess, connects a lot with this purification, all these cleansing processes. Also, it's a lot to do with the health, also the other qualities of Virgo, right? Organization, strategy, efficiency, productivity, all these things. The main theme of this full moon is a strong purification process that has to do a lot also with lots of karmic cleansing, a lot of cleansing about patterns that we carry maybe for generations in our DNA. Maybe we carry a lot from, let's say, from our parents, from this life. Maybe they're also connected with other lives, but it's a lot about this cleansing, about energies. And you probably feel you want to purify your body, you want to cleanse your house under this full moon, and it's very aligned to do so. So because also the lunar eclipse is very cathartic, as I said, it's a death and rebirth, plus we have this full moon in Virgo, and always when we have a full moon in Virgo, it has this energy of cleansing, but especially now with the south node there also in Virgo. So to make you understand how important is this, you have to understand that Virgo, like the south node in Virgo, is not going to be in these degrees for the upcoming 18 years, because the lunar nodes do an 18-year cycle and stay 18 months in each sign, so in each axis with two different signs. So think about that as well. It's not something we're going to have all the time, also in the same time when we have a total lunar eclipse. So there are no coincidences in this universe. So another message is here that we have to really connect with our true essence, connect with the purity of our soul. So in our life, we go through a lot and we absorb a lot of energies from the environment, from the people we surround ourselves. And this full moon is all about, like, you have to go back to your true essence. You have to go back to connect with your soul. What is true to you. So that's also most of us, I would say, I've been there as well many times. We can feel lost in sometimes in our life, like we don't know what to do, this, that. And this sometimes can be from these energies we absorb from our environment, from the people we surround, and we're not aware of how much we interact with the environment. And especially we don't have a grounded spiritual practice to always go back to ourselves, go back to our center. It's very easy to influence, and we start literally thinking the thoughts of other people and thinking that, oh, these are mine, but they're not ours. So this is also something I wanted to share with you. Another now important thing here that is happening, this full moon does lots of oppositions. There's 3 oppositions. So oppositions are the hardest aspect we have in astrology. So when I first saw this chart, I studied before, like I saw it like a few months ago, but when I started studying it, like more dedicated for making some content, I was like, oh my God, like this is very intense chart. This is a very intense chart. Oppositions are hard aspects, and this full moon is like, somebody's taking this this knife and it's like cut, whatever is not aligned with your true self. It's a little bit like that, but very, radical cut, not soft. It's like hard, it's harsh. So the moon is doing an opposition with the North Node, with Saturn, and with Neptune. So if you would see the chart, we have on one side this full moon in Virgo, and on the opposite side we have the Sun together conjuncting very close to degrees with the North Node in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, and Neptune in Pisces. So we have a kind of like this fight between these planets, because opposition is always about fight, like opposite to each other, right? So of course our spiritual nature is rising, and this full moon also is teaching us a lot about to trust our intuition, trust our connection with spirit, trust our connection with the earth, and just find this center in between the stars and the earth, and feel connected and learn to trust ourselves. So, and a positive aspect we have is the moon is trining Uranus. So this full moon, despite all this hardness, despite all these like cuttings that it does for us, is facilitating awakening, is facilitating changes in our life. And also it helps us to find our personal freedom after this full moon. So it's going to be intense. I'm not going to lie to you. It's very intense. It's like a very intense chart, and it's also the eclipse season together, plus the retrograde energy. So yes, if you already feel the intensity before, and you will feel it afterwards as well. So it's like, don't worry so much if you feel so much, because this is all about right now. It's like we have to feel so much because we have to release so much. So these energies have to leave, have to go where they belong. They are not ours, so we have to go back to our center. So that's what I want to share with you in this short video. I always try to include as much as I can in this short video, so I hope that was helpful. And I wish you a beautiful eclipse season, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye for now.